So this video is going to be built around the semester-long SMART project. This video is going to be specifically just talking about this syllabus supplement found on Learning Suite. Students are going to be held accountable for the information here in the syllabus, and hopefully this video will help answer questions and prepare you better to succeed in the course. There are several videos on Learning Suite. All of them are attempted to be made to help students, but they're also spoken in a general manner because they're going to be used for multiple courses that cover different information. Hopefully, as we go through this video, you'll find answers to some of your questions. And if you have any other questions at the end of this video, feel comfortable reaching out to your TA. The semester-long project is really cool. It comes from a variation, it's a variation of something that comes from Elder Bednar. And it allows you as students to act by diligently planning out and working on a project of your choice. This project is meant to help you grow and develop and apply what you're learning better than other means. Every week you're going to spend an hour working on this project. And so you want to make sure that you're picking a project that is exciting to you, that's interesting, that does not become busy work, and that you're going to take seriously. The project should be stretching, both intellectually and spiritually. You shouldn't pick something that you are already doing. You should pick something that's going to be a goal for you to achieve throughout this semester. Students don't lose points in this course from picking a lofty project they want to achieve and then not reaching it. Students lose points in this course for the SMART project because they picked a project that was too easy for them and they just ignored it and didn't do it because it became busy work. Your project can involve talent, skills, specific topics of scripture or study, music, videos, art, technology, service. There's so many things. There's even a list on Learning Suite of SMART project ideas of some past semester ideas, I believe, where students can go to get a launch pad. And you should be comfortable designing a project that stretches you intellectually and spiritually. The project should be something that is also creating something. When you do this project, it should be something that, if it's done well, will make a positive difference in your life. And throughout the process of the semester, that means throughout the 14 weeks you're working on your project for an hour, you need to be creating some form of tangible product that represents your work. This tangible product needs to be clear evidence that you did put in the hours of time that you talked about. That could be a journal, an art piece, a video, a photo collage, a PowerPoint. We've had students in the past who've literally created a computer system, a computer game where people could go and explore Jerusalem, and they now work for the church because that project was so cool. We've had students who've crafted meals. We've had students who've created musical presentations because they've learned how to play the piano or learned a foreign language. It's amazing what you can come up with. You should be excited to work on this project. If you find yourself not looking forward to your project, you really did pick the wrong project. Pick something that is going to be exciting. In the first week of the semester, like the serious study goal, you're going to be setting your SMART project goal. That means on Learning Suite in Quiz 1 for week 1, you're going to be submitting a response to this section. Now, you need to have 2 descriptive sentences in each of these following areas, and you want to keep this format. That means when you submit your quiz, don't have one paragraph that's answering all these questions. Rather, have 5 different sections, one labeled S, where you talk about what your project is and what the tangible product is you're going to be creating. And then below that, have a section called M, where you're going to talk about how you're going to measure your time, what you're going to do to prevent it from becoming busy work, and just go through this pattern answering these questions. The TAs will go through every single student's SMART project proposal and see if they meet, one, the 2 descriptive sentences in this, and also how they meet these questions. If we find students who are picking projects that are not intellectually and spiritually stretching, we're not going to approve them, and you're going to have to pick a new project. So be sure to pick something that is appropriate for this course and the expectations that Brother Griffin has. Then for the rest of the semester, weeks 2 through 12, you're simply going to be reporting how many minutes a week you worked on your project. You need to work a minimum of 60 minutes a week to get the full 4 points in your weekly quiz. You can spend more time on it if you like, and we hope you enjoy your projects, but don't feel like you need to spend more than an hour if you're not. If you don't reach the full hour, you only reach a little bit over 45 minutes, you'd only get 3 points, and so on. Then, at the end of the semester, week 13, you submit something called the SMART Project Report. Now, this report is submitted similar to a paper, where it's submitted as an assignment on Learning Suite, but you will also include a portion of it in your quiz. And so I'm going to talk about both those, but be sure to do both of them because you don't want to lose points. The first part is a self-evaluation of the percentage of points you feel you deserve based on your work and the outcome of the project. You should include some sentences explaining what your rationale is for your self-assigned score. Maybe you did everything right and you feel like you deserve an A and give yourself a 98. Or maybe as you've been going through the semester, you realize that you really didn't take it seriously and there were many times you just kind of scoffed off and you give yourself maybe an 88 or a 78 or something that doesn't end in an 8 perhaps. But we trust you to give yourself a score, and that score is going to play a big role because you know better than anyone how you've reached your goal. You know every week the amount of time and effort you've put in, so make sure that you're giving yourself a fair score. Then you give an updated SMART report. That means you're going to be answering the questions that you already answered in week 1, but they're a little bit tweaked. First off, it's going to be 3 sentences rather than 2 sentences, and you're going to want to maintain the same format, not one big paragraph. And this time, instead of saying like, what is your project and what will you be creating, it'll ask questions like, what was your project? What did you create? And all these other questions you'll see will talk about things from that first week's goal. I highly encourage students, after they submit their week 1 SMART project goal, to keep a copy of this in your records. I don't know where you want to keep it, but keep it because that means at the end of the semester, you can very easily answer these questions. That's the easiest way to succeed in that section. This section is also something that you will have to report in your final quiz. Or in the week 13 quiz, That means for the week 13 quiz, there's going to be a text box where students will copy and paste this part B of your SMART project reports. That means you're going to be submitting the same information in 2 different places. Be sure not to make the mistake and only submit it in one. Don't submit it in the quiz and then not include it in your SMART report, and then don't just submit it in your SMART report and not include it in your quiz. All you have to do is copy and paste it. And then there's the file that represents your tangible product. You should be doing, if you're creating something that you take photos of, like a journal or an art piece, simply include those at the end of your Word document or PDF. If you've recorded music or made a movie or feel that your tangible product is best represented in a video, upload them to YouTube or Google Drive and share the link to us in the submission notes. I'm going to talk about this when I make the video for Learning Suite. The submission notes comes up when you submit your document. It'll ask you, do you have any submission notes right before you click submit. Include your links to YouTube or Google Drive there. If you don't do that, the TA has to download your project, open up the document, copy and paste it, and go to it. It really just takes so much more time. And when you're doing this for 600 students, that really adds up. Email us as TAs if you have questions about sensitive material. You do not need to include sensitive material like personal journal entries. Rather, take photos of the journal entries which you feel comfortable sharing with just us as the TA. And if you've written, say, 100 entries in the semester, you don't need to submit 100 photos. You can take 5 or 6 photos of what you feel best represents your work, a fair representation of what you did, and submit that. When it comes to submitting videos, I recommend using YouTube, making it a private video and submitting the link to us, because if students do submit a Google Drive link, but we are not given access to view it, come grading, if we try and go to your link and it tells us you don't have access, we have to grade it as if we don't have a Part C. We'll request access immediately, but understand that's a mistake you don't want to make. When we do grade as a TA, we will grade your Part A, B, and C together. We're going to look at it and assign it a score out of 33. If you do miss the deadline, you can submit your project late, light the paper, and get a 5-point penalty late for each day. And here's where it talks about how you should copy it into your weekly quiz. This report should be something that should come easy to you if you've been doing everything right. Let the TA know if you had changed your project, because you're going to need to talk about the changes you've made, especially because over the course of the semester, if you want to change your project, you have to email the TA to get approval. If students change their projects without emailing the TA to get approval, they're going to lose a lot of points during the final submission, and you don't want to be losing points at the end of the semester. In week 14, you will be submitting the class evaluation for this. That's a huge amount of points for this class evaluation. Don't report it until you've submitted the class evaluation, but you don't need to be worrying about your SMART project come finals week, which is pretty nice. At any point in the semester, you are welcome to change your project. You shouldn't wait until the last week of the semester. If a student emails a TA the last week of the semester and talks about how they've been working on a different project for the last 7 weeks, that's not appropriate. You need to be emailing the TA when you're changing your project throughout the semester. And you shouldn't change your entire project at the end of the semester because you didn't reach your goal. If you didn't reach your goal, you should be held accountable for that and not just try and change it. You don't have to make up hours from your new project. Just start on your new project if you are approved to change it. Lastly, don't double dip. We talked about this in the weekly assignments. Your project should be entirely separate from any other assignments in this class or other classes. Nothing you do in your SMART project should count towards your serious study goal, and no assignments you're completing for other courses should count towards this. This project should be something brand new and exciting to you. If you have any questions about your SMART project, feel comfortable reaching out to the TA, watching or reading these videos again, or checking out the frequently asked questions under the Digital Dialogues tab. Good luck, and we hope you enjoy it.